So you clicked on this video because we're going to talk about Mercury Insurance, and we're going to dive really deep into them. We're going to find out what exactly is going on. I'm a little bit confused on Mercury Insurance. So according to the research, this actually popped up because J.D. Power just listed them as the Insurance Digital Experience Study. They ranked #1. That's awesome. Like, their customer experience was amazing according to J.D. Power. But then when you start researching the company and looking into reviews and product offerings, it's a little bit lackluster. Actually, I think I even see a huge discrepancy. I'm not saying fraud because my channel is my opinion and I am not going to go down that rabbit hole. But let's dive into find out more about Mercury Insurance. So today's video is brought to you by our channel sponsor. They're not necessarily sponsoring the video, but they're sponsoring the channel. And I pick videos that I think that they're a good fit for. This is perfect. Cover Insurance. If you guys want to shop up to 30 different companies and compare to a Mercury Insurance, I'll put the link below where it's easy. You don't have to talk to an agent. You type it in on an app or a website and you get a quote across the board. Gives you some great prices. Diving into Mercury Insurance. So I've got 7 different, 1, 2, 3, I got like 20 different websites open. So if you guys get good value out of this actually took some time to make. I really wanted to find out following the video that I just made about Mercury Insurance. I'll link that here, that talked about how amazing that record was because it's the first time they've ever been in a J.D. Power. So forgive me if I'm not always looking at the screen. I've got a kabillion things that I'm looking at. So starting in 1961, so they're about 60-ish years old. They started selling insurance about 1962 is essentially when they grew. 1970, they had over $1 million in premium. So people naturally took to the founder that created this. The founder is George Joseph, and it sounds like he actually built a really good product. His focus was to build a product that's affordable, that customer satisfaction won't lack in. Long story short, they have grown and they're actually a very large company now where they have 9,400 agents and they've got a pretty big network. Their averaging policy seems a little bit high to me. They're about $1,558 according to Bankrate as far as their annual premium. Now their home and their auto products combined actually make sense. If you're gonna go with Mercury, those two together, actually the more I go through the data, the more sense it makes to combine them. Because both of them are average alone, but if you're gonna do them together, they have some pretty cool things that I liked. So just some more basic data is they've branched off from the one state which they're headquartered and their main focus was California, and now they've grown out to 10 different states. They're actually trying to grow as large as they can, but that's essentially data improvements over the years. 2019 named one of the America's most best mid-size employers to work for, and that's actually a big plus. So when you're looking at a company, are the employees happy? Because you're going to get service levels from those either happy or unhappy employees. Well, if you do some Google searching, you're going to find that the average scoring, where there's companies that have about 600 reviews, 3,500 reviews, 1,000 reviews, they're kind of falling short. They're in that 3 and below range, sometimes even the 1 to 2 out of 5 stars. And there's a lot of complaints online that we're going to dive through in just a moment. If you're looking at their auto, the biggest discounts that I saw is they do an anti-theft feature, auto pay, e-signatures, good driver, good student, multi-car, multi-policy, paid in full. Everybody does those. So this is a little bit lackluster as far as the discounts. I don't see anything standing out, but that's an auto insurance. There usually isn't a lot to stand out from. They have your citizens insurances and your Safeco insurances where they're trying to be that premium level where they offer the extra packages, which gives you better towing. They give you OEM replacement parts. They give you all of these cash back options where you can get money back. And there's some pretty cool pieces. If you want to be proud of the policy that you have and get the best coverage, those are going to be more of your lean-to companies. So what are some other options that you guys have? Like I mentioned mentioned before in the beginning of the video, there is a company called Cover Insurance, and they are our channel sponsor, but not the video sponsor. So I think they're a good fit here because if you're going to shop around, you can check with 30 plus companies. If you want to work with our company, I'll link that below as well. But I think Cover, they're offering a deal here where you get $50 for you and a friend. If you both buy a policy, you get a $50 Amazon gift card. It's pretty cool. It doesn't hurt to check it, so at least you know your options. Link is in the description below. Where Mercury is just kind of fitting in the typical space, which is why you haven't seen them on JD Power, is because when you're in that space, it's hard to shine. There's so many good companies on there and so many large companies that it's hard to grow those ranks to be one of them. So Discounts Home and Auto, they do the protective devices, so like any safety features, if you have water protection devices. They do fire resistant construction materials, so if your house is extremely well built, that's awesome. There's very few of them out there. If it's a new home, that's kind of a nice one. Progressive is a big one for giving discounts for that. And then if you live in a gated community, there's also discounts there. Now, the Bankrate article said that they're an A, although their website said they're an A+ as far as AM Best goes. In my book, anything an A and above is good. If you're in the B section or A-, you're kind of working away from being stable. There are companies that are B's and C's that are doing just fine, but you have to be careful. That's the stability of the company. If they have the money on hand to pay your claim, that's very important to me. I want to make sure if there's a catastrophe that I'm not going to be shortchanged and taken through the ringer. I want to make sure my car, my house, whatever the case is covered, and I'm good. So it's funny because the article that JD or Bankrate gave fell into the same thing that I fell into. It's odd because this was the last one I looked at. I was like, oh, let me check what Bankrate says. And they said that they're a 4.7 star ranking, which is funny because that's exactly what I'm looking at. 5,643 reviews on their website, mercuryinsurance.com/reviews. You can check them out. They are great reviews. There's just every single one is a 9.9, 5 stars. Even the complaints, and I'm not saying they're cheating the system, but it seems fishy to me. Like if you look into their 1 stars and their lowers, the complaints aren't actual complaints. This one says terrible. I signed a policy and 10 days ago, I haven't even received my ID cards. I'm gonna fluff that off, right? This one, the next one that was 5 months ago says, I don't know. I just acquired the insurance. However, I'm glad there was a discount for paying in full. Like these aren't complaints. These don't seem real to me. Yes, very good service overall. And they gave them a 1 star. Another 1 star, auto, the worst insurance I've ever had. And that was it. Like that's just an opinion, not even a review. Changing address and changing policy. I don't understand why I can't change my address on the Mercury website. So they're just pointing out, or at least emphasizing, I got a feeling they're organizing these around what really isn't bad to what is really bad. And when you get into the 5 stars, then they start talking, or even if you do the most recent, you can't get out of a 5 star. It's just nothing but 5 stars. That's amazing, right? Congratulations, your company is the best company I've ever seen. I'm on page 4 now. We're 20 reviews deep. Let's just keep going. We're 30 reviews deep. I haven't even dropped below a 5 star. I personally, in any insurance company, find it hard to believe that out of the most recent 60 reviews, now we're into 70 reviews, we're gonna keep going. I personally don't feel that you should have 5 stars, period. It just doesn't seem real. 110 plus reviews, I've just flipped through page. Most recent reviews according to Mercury. Not one of them is below a 5 star. Okay, Mercury, if you're watching this, respond. I would love to hear it. I'm gonna close out of that website and just end that rant there. When I do a research, when I go to Wallet Hub, when I go to NerdWallet, when I go to Bankrate, you're not even a 3 star. Now, you could have completely changed things in the last 6 months, which I think is impossible, and everybody loves you and you're just handing out cash, but that doesn't, like, I don't get that part. So let's take some information. The NAIC, the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, they gave them a score of 2.9. Essentially what that means is, or a score of 1, where 2.9 is Mercury's score. So they actually are having It could have been last year, but they're showing almost 3 times the complaints on their insurance than normal. So which is it? Like, are you guys a 5-star all day long? Or are you 3 times worse than what everybody's saying? I'm not saying don't go with Mercury because they seem like a legitimate company. I've heard them in the past. I really haven't heard any negative, super bad things about them. But here's what I found. As far as the pros, competitive rates, that's great. It's an average auto. I think they've got some cool stuff. I'll tell you about the home in a minute. The breakdown protection, that's kind of nice. Very few companies are doing that anymore. So mechanical breakdown, if your car breaks down, there's some kind of a warranty, but it's through your insurance. They offer rideshare coverage, which is important. A lot of people are doing Uber and Lyft. And then the cons. So they're below average customer service, although, yeah. They're no online claims filing. I don't care about that as much because their app looked really cool. I went to their website and there was a link where it just gave the phone number right in the app. So I like to call somebody when it's a claim. I feel like I'm getting better service that way. Limited coverage options and discounts, yeah, they're just average. We talked about that as far as the coverage. And then must purchase a policy through an agent. I'm okay with that. That's nice to have if the agent is very well trained and you're getting that expert advice. Company going that route is just their call. Only available in 11 states. I think it's only 10, but it says 11 here. Wallet Hub gave them a 2.2 out of 5. JD Power gave them a 3.9 out of 5. NAIC gave them a 3.63, which is actually higher than, so it's over 3 times. And what I said, Better Business Bureau gave them an A+, so good there. AM Best gave them an A, and then Moody's, which is just a rating system, gave them an A2, whatever that means. So what are some of the prices? They're explaining that 18-year-olds are about $140 a month. 21-year-olds with Mercury insurance are going to pay about $96 a month. And then when they skip past 21 and they go to 45, it's $56 a month. That's kinda doesn't seem realistic. That's gotta be just basic coverage. When you're 65, you're 57. So they stay around that $50 or $100 less. 50 to $100 is what the average is. The only one that stood out was the 21-year-old, the 18-year-old, and then the 45 with a DUI. So that person was $91 a month. Still seems really low to me. I think if you're gonna quote with them, it might be interesting to find out. As I mentioned, they have the Real Drive, as they call it. So that's kind of a pay per mile program, which is pretty cool. That will compete with Nationwide and different companies like that. I really like that part of it. And then on the home, I noticed that they offered the typical service line coverage and your normal home policy. You can have up to 50% replacement cost, all of that standard stuff that you would expect in a home policy. But then they also offer cybersecurity. So I like the fact that they had a cyber coverage, which most companies don't actually do that yet. It might be something that they're starting to lean towards, but you can get $50,000 or whatever amount you need in case you are a victim of a cyber attack. It's pretty rare, but it could happen. You just never know. And I'm sure there's guidelines and rules that you've got to protect yourself to some sort of point and have some sort of antivirus system. But it's nice to know that in this digital age and economy that a lot of attacks are happening out there. That's a fear that we have, that they have that additional coverage. And I like the part of that. So for the sake of this video, there was a lot of data that we went through. Feel free to go back and watch it. I'll try to timestamp things, but let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Am I going crazy? Like, is the fact that every other company is ranking them below a 3-star ranking? We're talking thousands of reviews here. Or the Better Business Bureau's give them a good rating, and they are saying they're 5 stars almost across the board, 100+ last comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Am I going crazy here? What's the thought? Personal opinion, that scares me. I would have to dive in further if I was looking into it. I'd want to obviously talk to the agent to find out what they're quoting me and see the relationship there. And I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to shop a couple other companies just to compare. And if I find something similar, the unknown of that piece, unless I can get clarification from you guys or from them, is probably more than I'm willing to risk if I can find a company that is more of a Progressive or a Citizens or a Nationwide or a State Farm or one of those guys, right? So I personally would lean towards one of those over that for those specific reasons. But if you are a techie and you are a homeowner and you're looking for that extra option, I really would love to see some policies that have that cybersecurity on it. So that would be pretty cool. I would kind of lean towards them in that aspect because it sounds like they are hitting some trends. They're hitting some good awards online. But once again, from the research, it's conflicting. Let me know in the comments below what your guys' thoughts are. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.